Hi everyone and welcome to episode 6 of the Virtual View podcast. Today I'm joined by Claire Rhodes, manager at the Landmark in Burnley, which is a business club and a co-working space. So thank you, Claire, for joining me.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
So Claire, I know about the Landmark. I'm a massive fan of the Landmark. For the people that aren't aware of the Landmark, can you explain what it is, what it does, and what happens there?
Yeah, of course. So the Landmark is obviously a mixed space, which obviously you know, but for anyone that doesn't know this, so we've got anything from private office spaces for like 1 to 2, 3 people, all the way up to probably about 10 people in some of our larger spaces. We've then got your hot desking and co-working, which is something that's already done in a lot of bigger cities, but we've just brought it now to a smaller town and it seems to be doing well. We've got meeting and training rooms, anything from smaller boardroom meetings to larger event spaces, and then obviously as well with that we've got the larger spaces for conferences, anything a bit bigger. Pre-COVID we could fit 120 people in our larger event spaces, so a really good kind of mix from small businesses to anything larger as well. So yeah, a real mix of business basically, so anything that you could possibly need. I'd like to say that we've got the facilities to do that.
Brilliant. I used to work for a co-working business, so I'm well versed in the benefits of it, to be honest. And historically, it was for freelancers, self-employed people. Now, during the pandemic, are you seeing more employed people dropping in for the day just to get out, break up the boredom of working from home all the time? Are you seeing more and more mix of people coming through your door?
Yeah, it's really strange actually. So before COVID, I mean, we hadn't been open that long actually. Officially, we launched at the end of last summer, and our main business was meetings and conferences. That's what most people did. Co-working was, I think, still a bit of a niche thing, and people didn't really understand it. Whereas during the pandemic, where that side of business has obviously not happened, yeah, an influx of members. We've doubled, tripled our members since probably August, and yeah, anything from self-employed to freelancers, and now we're having people from massive corporate companies coming and using the space because they've just got to that point where being in the same four walls is just not working for them anymore, and they need that normality, I suppose.
Definitely. It's so flexible. That's the one thing that appeals to me. I can just decide one day that I'll come to the Landmark, and it might be just an afternoon, and you get so much out of just seeing different people. You'll see someone different every time you're there. So, like I say, I could talk all day about the Landmark. The building itself is quite interesting. Can you give us a bit of history about that?
Yeah, of course I can. So the building itself is one of the original buildings in Burnley. In fact, it's situated where the old town centre used to be. But the part of the building, actually, you can see on the banner behind me here, was built in 1873. So it was the first part of the grammar school. So it used to be Burnley Grammar School, which obviously we don't have a Burnley Grammar School anymore, which is a real shame. But that was founded by the original Burnley family, so like Habigam family, the Townley family. So a lot of the names that people in the area are used to, they actually founded that build, and it was actually a local architect who was only 20 from Padiham that designed the building. And as time went on, the building got bigger. So in 1901, they did another development, and it just continued to spiral. And then unfortunately, I think it was in the 1970s, they then said, we've outgrown this building, and they left it. Also, as in 1981, Burnley Grammar School just came to a finish, and that was the end of like a 400-year history. And then the Burnley College Council took over the building, but then they built a nice bigger building down on Princess Way, which you can see, a really impressive building down near Asda. And again, this building then just kind of got left to its own device. Derek, I think it's about 4 years before Mark Crabtree, the director of the building, came and bought it, and has now spent, I think, 2-3 years now restoring it back. So yeah, a lot of history and a lot of time and a lot of different things have gone through this building. So it's really nice to now have life back in it and be doing something with it.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the big things one of the big impressive things that I've noticed is, even though it's gone through a renovation, it's still maintained its original style.
Yeah, well, it's a Grade 2 listed building, so it's actually protected by the heritage. So you are very limited to what you can do, which has been challenging at times. But I think in a way, it's been wonderful to kind of restore the building
Mm.
back to its former glory, on especially on the older side. I mean, we've not actually revealed that part of the building yet, and we're really excited to do that because we've kept pretty much all the original features from when it was originally built, like even just the hinges on the doors. Like, it sounds ridiculous mentioning that, but they are insane. They are the biggest hinges you've ever seen, and they're like all the way through the stone, and it's just wonderful to know that that's not actually being taken away.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you're part of the team that drives the business and keeps it all going. Can you tell us a little bit about your career today and how you developed in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I have got a colourful background, and I know a lot of people say that, but obviously, my own history. So I actually studied and trained to be a professional dancer, singer, and performer, and I did that for professionally for a good 10 years. So I spent a lot of my time traveling the world and working with lots of different people. And within that job role, was a dance captain, was a production manager. So learned different things. But in between all those roles as well, dancing, I did work at Crowwood Leisure Centre and different places where anything from kind of working behind the bar in events, reservations, gym instructing. I'm a professional qualified PT and gym instructor. So a really colourful background. And then this kind of opportunity came up because I actually knew Liz, who's the general manager,
Mm.
and it kind of cross-referenced because it was just a case of, oh, we've got this new business kind of starting up, and we just needed someone to come and look after meeting rooms and a little bit of everything. I thought, yeah, I've done that. I'm not sugarcoating my CV. Everything that they wanted, I was like, I've done bits of that. And then came in, and yeah, it was a real project. We were still putting furniture together, walls were still getting painted. Half the building was still not even touched from when it had been left, from when the college had it. So my background has been really mixed, but I suppose without realizing, I picked up admin skills, I picked up management skills from when I had a small team or been training somebody. And yeah, so a bit of a different background to what I'm in now, but it's amazing to think that all the different job roles that you do, that you think, oh, like, is this a job or is it not, actually do give you the stepping stones to sometimes shift that and do what I'm doing now. So
Yeah.
started as a service assistant a year and a half ago, and now I'm the manager, and I just think, like, how has that happened? But between Liz and myself, we've really thrown ourselves into this project. Before we had cleaners, we were the ones scrubbing the toilets. We've put the furniture together. We've been here from the crack of dawn till last thing at night, doing it all, and putting all the procedures and policies in place that if you started at another business would be there. And it's kind of like we've just both gone, right,
Yeah.
where do we, like, what do we need to do to make this kind of successful and work? And yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but it's been great, really. So
Yeah, it must be really rewarding to see it flourish as it is now after putting all the graft in.
yeah,
So
definitely.
I think so. We're hot off the back of another tier 3 announcement today, and I joined the hub during the business club at the Landmark during COVID, and I've seen what safeguards you've got in place. Just to give people a bit of confidence around if people did want to come and look at the Landmark. Can you give us a few key things that you are doing to, become COVID secure as a workplace?
Yeah, of course. So we're really fortunate. So we've actually been approved by Bureau Vista, which is one of the top companies that go around and do kind of inspections. So we are certified and approved as a COVID work safe place from them. So that's an actual certified company that came and did, I think, a 4-hour inspection and really kind of interrogated us on what we did, and we passed with flying colours with that. We've also had a lot of inspections by the council. We're in constant contact with the council and the health environmental on a weekly basis to make sure that what we've got in place is okay. So for those kind of things, people are not sure, we have got those approved. We do ask all our members, including ourselves as staff, we wear face coverings when walking around. We have hand sanitizer stations everywhere. And when you first come in, you are asked to hand sanitize, you are asked to sign in. So we've got a track and trace system in place. We do a temperature check as well, which if somebody is over, we will say to them, I'm really sorry on this occasion, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the building and come back in a couple of days, you know, go and look after yourself and isolate.
Yeah.
We've got notices that we update. So we get that from the NHS and the government website, which I can promise you every single week, Liz and I read through. Again, we get the backup from the council. So in regards of that, I don't feel personally we could do much more than that. So yeah, and we've got screens, we've got markings, we've got signs everywhere, but I feel, I mean, this might just be me personally, but what we have got feedback wise from members and visitors is that you feel safe, you can tell we're taking it seriously, and there's enough in place for you to feel safe, but at the same time we've got the fine line of it still feels comfortable, you don't feel it's over clinical.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's the feel I get every time I've been as well. So yeah, so thanks for your time, Claire. That's been really good, and you've given a really good background to the landmark in your career to date. So wish you all the best on all fronts going forward. So thank you everyone for listening. That's episode 6 of the Virtual View podcast. Until next time, goodbye.